The European Union includes 28 countries that make up much of the continent. It started as a response to World War II to bring countries together for economical growth and peace. The main driving forces behind the European Union are political union, monetary stability, equality, and democracy. This union allows for collectivist decision making for the better of the continent. Each individual state or country is recognized and respected, but it creates a space for the countries to work together to keep their economy strong. The organization creates laws, agreements, and publications, as well as sets the tone for life and business for the members of said union. The organization began with 6 countries, which were Germany, Italy, the Netherlands, Belgium, France, and Luxembourg in 1958, which reflected a long search for peace starting in 1945. It was originally called the European Economic Community. As more countries joined this membership, what it stood for expanded as well. It began as an organization that was revolved solely around the economy and emerged into much more, including food production, so everyone would have access to food in 1968. In the following years, the European Economic Community would be affected by surrounding wars in outside nations, such as the Arab-Israeli War of 1973, affecting the European economy and initiating an energy crisis. In 1989, more peace and progress came when the Berlin Wall came down, creating union between East and West Germany. The 1990s was the emergence of growth and the implementation of a single market for all countries involved. This market is mainly based on 4 freedoms: for goods, services, people, and money. In 1993, the European Economic Community was renamed the European Union. Since then, the European Union has worked to aid countries in times of war with political and environmental concerns and security. The European Union is not only affected by or involved in war, but trade agreements are a big portion of what affects this union throughout the years as well. Recently, in 2016, the United Kingdom voted to leave the European Union, creating a shift in their environment. The European Union is comprised of 28 countries which all joined at different times, which include Belgium, France, Germany, Italy, Luxembourg, and the Netherlands in 1958, Denmark, Ireland, and the United Kingdom in 1973, Greece in 1981, Portugal and Spain in 1986, Austria, Finland, and Sweden in 1995, Cyprus, the Czech Republic, Estonia, Hungary, Latvia, Lithuania, Malta, Poland, Slovakia, and Slovenia in 2004, Bulgaria and Romania in 2007, and Croatia in 2013. The European Union now is involved in topics that include agriculture, budget, climate action, competition, consumers, culture, customs, development and coordination, economic and monetary affairs such as the euro, education, training and youth, employment and social affairs, energy, environment, European Union citizenship, food safety, fraud prevention, human rights, justice and home affairs, multilingualism, regional policy, the single market, sport, taxation, trade, and transport. Considering the topics that the European Union covers and the scenarios it puts itself in, there will always be activity and controversies to talk about. Currently, there are 2 situations that are affecting the European Union and how it works with the rest of the world. One controversy is that recently, Britain voted to leave the European Union in an attempt to secure their borders more, as the EU is more likely to help immigrants, or more specifically refugees. The separation has not happened yet, as it could take time and could cost Britain a lot of money and penalties. As the climate of terrorism becomes increasingly more intense, the European Union is choosing to keep their borders open, while Britain hopes to minimize any threats to its people. However, Britain is hoping to continue its open trading opportunities regardless of the split. Another controversy is the United States leaving the Paris Climate Change Accord. It was an agreement of countries to set standards for companies on environmental factors, and the European Union has openly made it known that it needs to stand up to the United States for leaving this agreement. Much like Britain requesting to leave the EU, it will take years for the US to actually back out of the accord, but it caused an uproar nonetheless. The European Union is now working very closely with China on the progress toward clean energy and doing so without the US. In both situations, the EU is a part of agreements that binds countries to these compromises, making it difficult for a change to actually be made. If anything, when a country is thinking of leaving, it causes more chaos for years prior to the actual change. The EU provides advice on living, working, and traveling throughout the countries of its members. It also sets guidelines for doing business internationally. These guidelines are regarding startups, VAT and customs, European standards, recruitment and staff welfare, import and export, finance and support, environmental rules, and public contracts in the European Union. The European Union is involved in international business and works alongside other countries not in the Union to accomplish goals on topics such as climate, business, trade, the economy, and rules and regulations and standards. The European Union affects international management in terms of adapting to the economy in regard to globalization. It allows openness between borders, creating easier trades between involved countries. A positive aspect of the international business involving the European Union is that it creates lower prices for consumers, making it easier to trade, as well as creates more room for innovation to keep up with the market. A negative aspect regarding the effect of international management is that once a collective decision has been made, then all 28 countries have to follow along as they have committed to this union. As I have already mentioned, it takes a long time for a country to leave the organization, making it a large decision for a country to leave that takes a lot of thought by the people of the country to weigh the pros and cons. In terms of strategic formulation, the European Union has to be extremely efficient in their planning. The organization is in charge of 28 countries and is responsible for how those countries interact and work with other countries. All aspects of the formulation process, such as environmental scanning, internal resource analysis, goal setting, and implementation, need to be considered when the EU makes a decision about international business and trade. Since they have a wide variety of countries involved, they are also allowing for emerging markets within those countries to have better opportunities internationally by creating cheaper inter-union trade. Thank you for interacting with the information regarding the European Union. The organization covers a wide variety of concepts and issues and is constantly a current event. It is a force to reckon with, and we should all pay close attention to how it functions and what it is in contact with.